Doctors, there's a high cost to cheap care. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the KC CHIROpulse Podcast, brought to you by CATS Consultants and Chiro Health USA. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Perusich, and I'm joined by my co-host, Dr. Marisa Mateja. Well, I call you a doctor. You should be a doctor. And how are you today, Marisa?
I'm good. How are you?
Always good.
Okay, good. Yeah.
So for everybody out there, we work together every day. So
Yeah.
I already knew how she was. Anyway, Marisa, this topic is one of these pet peeves of mine, because I think we've got this race to the bottom going on with everybody's pricing strategy and chiropractic. And I just feel like it's strangling the profession in so many ways. There's such a danger to competing on price as opposed to competing on value.
Yeah.
And when you separate value out and show the uniqueness of your practice, you really don't have any competition. So why do we keep driving our pricing down?
We saw that in the community we were in. There was 67 chiropractors all within a couple miles of each other.
Yep.
And there was a huge camaraderie between some of the others that always wanted to price themselves equally so that they felt like they took some of the competition out. And it was then people could just pick by doctor. You can still do that. It's on value. We came into the market and we're probably the highest priced, not probably, we probably were
You were.
the highest priced chiropractic office. We're probably within 60 miles. And we had no issue. We were the busiest clinic around. So I think it's more on, do people trust you? Do you have value? Are they getting what they need from you when they come into your practice?
Yep.
I think people will spend money. And this is another area where I think docs have a hard time, is because they're racing to the bottom. It's more about, I don't want to have the money conversation with people.
Yeah.
I think that's what this all stems around, is I just don't want to tell them that, hey, my value is this. You're going to have to pay this. I think that's really what this boils down to. So to combat that, you have to have really good communication.
Really good. And you bring up a great point. And we were the most expensive clinic, probably within several counties around us. And yet we were the busiest. And
Yep.
so we know that you don't have to compete on price. And yet we keep seeing doctors finding it easier to just say, well, I'll just charge $5. And we're reverting back to the early years of chiropractic. And I want to dive into that just a little bit. We need to take a quick break, but we're going backwards when we do that. So we're talking about the danger of competing on price and that there's a high cost to cheap care. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
In today's economy, every dollar counts. Families are facing tough choices, having to reconsider what was once essential to them. But when it comes to healthcare, no one should have to compromise on their well-being because of financial constraints. That's where Chiro Health USA steps in, the solution for your practice. We understand the financial pressures families are under, whether they're insured, on Medicare, or paying out of pocket for treatment. By offering discounts on care, you can ensure that your patients can still afford the treatment they need. At Chiro Health USA, we're committed to making sure no family has to sacrifice their health due to financial hardship. We'll work with you to create a game plan that keeps your waiting room full and your practice thriving. And here's the best part. Offering affordable care not only benefits your patients, but also positively impacts your bottom line. So why wait? Join Chiro Health USA today and join the ranks of the most successful practices. Because when you put your patients first, everyone wins.
Welcome back to the KC CHIROpulse Podcast. We're talking about the high cost of cheap care. And before we took the break, Marisa, you brought up some great points about you have to communicate value. And 100 years ago or more, when chiropractic was new, and most of us, I think, in our education, we've heard the stories about the doctors who had the box on the wall. And it was just put some money in the box, whatever you feel like today's value was. What was it worth to you? You know, you'd get a couple of bucks or $5, maybe on a good day, you'd get 10 back then. And I feel like we're reverting back to that just a little bit. I saw on Facebook the other day, I saw somebody advertising an $11 deal. And
Wow.
I've seen these before and I've talked about these before, but it's always a reminder of, oh my gosh, what are we doing
Yeah.
when we're offering an $11 first day? Let me tell you what was involved in the $11 first day. It was a consultation. It was an evaluation, an exam. It was a one region x-ray. It's like cervical or lumbar, I guess. It was your first adjustment. It was one therapy and a 15-minute chair massage.
Wow.
Wow. The value, and I'm using air quotes for those of you just listening, the value of that's probably a couple $100 or more. And so you're
Well, and
giving
how much
away,
time?
you're giving away all this time and all these
Wow.
services to a patient who now believes that your price is going to be very low. So how are you ever going to bring this patient back in and deliver a report of findings and talk about the financial side of care when it's going to be $1,000 or more?
Right.
Just not going to compute to the patient. And I think this is why so many doctors doing these low priced deals, these cheap and expensive first days, I think that's why they're having such an issue with dropouts and patients not returning.
Okay, so think about this for just a second. If I went to a surgeon to have a consultation, they're not going to discount their rate. They're not
Oh,
going to
there's no $11 certain?
they're not going to say, "I'm getting you in the door because," or whatever. No, it's definitely going to be, "Here's what the cost is. You may be out of pocket this much. We expect this much." I had a couple procedures done, just routine stuff or whatever, and I had to pay $600 upfront
Yeah.
before I could even do anything.
Yeah.
And that was the expectation. And did I think anything of it? No, I paid it. And that's the mentality that I think we have to adopt, is that patients know they have to pay when they come to your clinics. Don't
Yeah.
cheapen yourself. Like, you know that there's going to be services that A, either aren't going to be covered by insurance, or B, you're going to have to pay out of pocket for all of it. I mean, there's a huge line there because insurance has gotten so crazy, number one, in costs and things, that, and deductibles are so high that most of the time we're all paying out of our pocket anyway.
Of course we are, especially for chiropractic care.
Yeah.
Chiropractic care almost doesn't make sense in the insurance model anymore. But I think we have confused affordability with cheap. And we think to be affordable, we have to be cheap. And the two are dissimilar concepts from each other. You can still have premium pricing
Yeah.
if you have the right positioning and communication strategies with your patients and get paid what you're worth. Because I'm telling you guys, you're worth more than $11.
Well, and when was the last time you raised your fees? Are you keeping up with your salary being inflationary? Are you
Right.
keeping up with the times right now and being able to raise what you're getting paid? That means you have to go back to your fees and you have to really look at those. And I see far too many docs not thinking in those terms and thinking about, how do I make more money? How do I stay up with the 3 to 6% of inflation every single year? I think that's something that this industry then forgets about, because, oh, the guy across the street's still charging this, so I'm going to stay where I'm at, versus it goes back to value, and it goes back to, what are you worth? That you've got to pay yourself what you're worth.
So you just made me think of something. What we're really competing against is poverty complex.
Oh, for sure.
We're competing against poverty complex because I'm here to tell you, you can't set your fees to what the chiropractor across the street has their fees set because you don't have the same overhead.
I was just going to say, you don't know what their expenses are.
And you
So
don't know that at their fee that they're making any money either.
exactly. And far too often we see that happening when we look at statistics from offices that are not priced accordingly. They're not covering their overhead, and they're really in the negative every month because they haven't stopped to look at, what are they bringing in compared to their expenses.
I think we talked about this in a podcast a few weeks ago, or maybe it was a Sunday. I can't remember.
They
I
all
just
run
remember,
together.
I know. I just remember talking about it. There's this thought process of there's really two different ways to run your business model. And one is to run it transactionally, and the other is to run it transformationally. So are you a transaction-based clinic? Is your clinic all about, well, we got to figure out a way to get the patient to pay something, and we got to figure out a way to try to get them to schedule, and the two are disassociated with each other. Neither one happens, or we get paid a little bit and then they don't come back. Or are you transforming lives? If you're positioning yourself as a clinic that's transforming lives over the long term and helping people maintain optimal health and wellness, that's invaluable to people.
Yeah.
And we know that since the pandemic, people value their long-term health so much more, which raised us higher on the totem pole. And yet I still see us trying to do the transactional methodology and lowering the price. And it's like we think everybody out there has to just dip their toe in the water with chiropractic. Like they don't know what chiropractic's about. So yeah, for $5, I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
People know what you're all about. Get out in the community and get people to know you and see your personality, and you'll drive high value patients into your practice.
Yeah. And give exceptional service, period.
Exactly. What kind of an experience are you creating?
Yeah. If you're creating an experience that people are craving, we'll say, then they're going to stay with you. If you're creating relationships that people need and want in the medical community, they're not a number. They're not just a last name walking in. They're more than that. You know about their lives. You know what they're doing on their weekend. You know things about them that you can then connect back to their care. The value's very high for people.
It's very high. Yeah. And everything for me is on most of you out there, everything for me comes back to the math. It comes back to the numbers. And if you have yourself priced below your profitability point,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just insanity. And you may be super busy. And we know of some clinics like this. They're super busy, but their profits like $1 per patient visit.
Yeah.
How do you live on that? And think about that. Think about the danger behind that. If you don't have a good profitability zone or buffer in your practice, what if you have an injury and you have to be out of the clinic for a couple of months?
Yeah.
How do you survive if your clinic was only making $1 profit?
Yeah.
You can't survive because you've not been able to create any kind of buffer. And you may
Well,
have
half
money in
your
your checkbook, but
Yeah. I was
it'll
just going to
go
say that
really
your
quick.
savings that you do have may be gone very fast.
It'll go quick.
Yeah.
So that lowering of your price because you think you're attracting people based on price puts a tremendous amount of pressure on your practice and you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think there's no need for that. I think it all starts with good communication and excellent service and finding the patient's true need of why they're there and connecting with that. Once you have some of those key components in place, the pricing shouldn't matter that much.
It shouldn't matter. And we're not saying that you can't be I'm going to call it a discount clinic, a low cost clinic, whatever, but you have to figure out how to make up the profitability somewhere. So you can't be low cost
And then give it all away.
and give it all away.
Seriously.
And you can't be low cost and not see very many patients.
Yeah.
You've got to make it up on volume. So you can't be low cost and low volume. You can be high cost and low volume and make good profitability.
Yeah.
You can make high cost and high volume and make great profitability, but you can't be low cost, low volume. And that's where the rubber, I think, meets the road, because in a low first day fee practice, you're creating so many dropouts and people that won't come back or people that won't commit to and engage in any kind of a care plan, especially when you tell them how much it's going to be, because their expectations were set by you differently. It makes it really hard to have a practice like that. Excuse me.
Absolutely.
So, we need to take another quick break. We're talking about the danger of low prices and the race to the bottom and how there's just a high cost to be paid for your practice and your success. So we'll be right back.
Pat's Chiropractic Consultants, your partner in chiropractic success. We are dedicated with one-on-one guidance to bring you all your practice management needs. Let's supercharge your practice. Give us a call today.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to the KC CHIROpulse Podcast. We're talking about the high cost of cheap care. And I think we've kind of beat this to death a little bit, but Marisa, let's talk a little bit about how do you overcome this? And I think the first thing is you have to admit to yourself that you have horrible poverty complex.
Yeah, I think that's number one for sure. And then how do you overcome that? You have to get better at being, I'm going to say, transparent with patients. And it's just black and white. Here are my fees. Here are my recommendations. Here's what your insurance is going to do if you accept insurance.
Yep.
If not, here's what our cash plan looks like. And being able to do that black and white. And I would say the biggest advice I could give any doc is get out of the money conversation. Keep yourself out of it. Don't be a part of it. Have your staff well trained and let them handle that. And if you don't have someone who can handle the money side and be black and white with your patients, find them.
What did I tell every patient that asked me something about money?
Go see Marisa.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I wasn't always at the front desk, but yes, go talk to the front desk. I don't know what things cost. Keep yourself out of it. I think that's such a huge benefit to docs. Let you have that good heart, that good caring nature, all of those things, and want to take care of people on the care side.
Yep.
Don't get yourself mixed in. That's where everybody falls down, I think.
Yep.
Is when they get mixed in with, oh, I want to be caring. And then I want to, I'll give you a deal and I'll do this for you. And don't play, let's make a deal. Get out of the conversation and your practice will go up. If you have somebody in that place that doesn't mind being honest and transparent with somebody and being able to tell them, here's what insurance is going to do. Here's what your costs are. Here's a payment arrangement. Let's move forward.
So I think it comes down to three basic things. One, you have to have a good fee strategy that creates profitability.
Yes.
Number two, you have to understand the communication strategy behind the money conversation. And Marisa, you're spot on. You've got to have somebody in your practice other than you doctors that you can train that can have this conversation. And number three, you have to understand not only your overhead, but all of your KPIs and understand your trends in your KPIs so that you know if you're driving the practice in any kind of a long-term profitability zone. And so if you need help with stuff like that, these are the things that we do at CATS Consultants. Give us a call. We don't charge you anything to just have a conversation. So give us a call or jump on our calendar. Marisa, tell them how they can get a hold of us.
If you go to our website, it's super easy. Right at the top of our website, on the right-hand side, it says, Let's Chat. You are welcome to click that. And then you can pick myself, Dr. Perusich, Dr. Callio, and you can jump on any of our schedules and we're happy to chat with you. So
Absolutely.
We're very low pressure. It's, we're here if you need us type thing.
Yeah. We're chiropractors. We wear the same shoes that you guys do. And we just want to help you have great success in your practice like we have had. So give us a call. And of course, we appreciate you tuning in every week. So you can subscribe wherever that is on here. Please. Yeah. We're growing like crazy with our podcast and it's all because of you listeners out there. So we appreciate you tuning in. So from all of us here at CATS Consultants, and we thank Chiro Health USA for being a sponsor as well. We'll see you next time.
See ya.